Playbook. This is Girls Only Sports. I am Candace. That is Kay. We're back for another episode. We have some good stuff to talk about today. Please follow us on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok while it's still here. We got a couple days.
Days is numbered.
Right. We got a couple days. But like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear from you and your opinions on all things in women's sports. But we're going to get right into it in our full court press segment. We're going to start off with the NWSL. As we've learned last week that the season starts fairly quickly. So there are some moves, and one big one, Jaden Shaw got traded.
Yeah.
This one,
I'm happy about this one because it's one of those times the player asked for the trade. It wasn't like she was just up and traded.
Right.
So I'm happy for her to get that. It's going to be exciting to see her and Ashley Sanchez on the same team playing that number 10 role.
Right.
I'm excited to see what they can do in North Carolina because North Carolina was a team last year that had some promise and they look pretty good, especially on their at home and towards the end of the later half of the season. Fell off a little bit, but they got a little stride to them. So I think there's something could happen there. There's something could happen. I think it's a good move.
Many people know Jaden Shaw is a part of the U.S. Women's National Team, so it made some waves. But one of the interesting things about this move, especially with the NWSL, is that their new collective bargaining agreement, the player has to consent to all their trades. Which is interesting because that's not usually how any of this goes.
Right. I think it's just like one of those things where they are adopting. They have to get consent to trade play. Like you can't just be like, oh, later. Like you can obviously not extend
or like trade for
like
picks
that.
And things like that, or they try to ship you off to a bad team.
Exactly. So, it's like, and again, like she asked for the trade, so. You like to see that, like
right.
She's young. Like imagine her just like, all right, later,
right.
And if it was like that, like that's a player that you're gonna just get rid of. I don't think so. I don't think that would have been in their plans. And there's a lot of new things coming for San Diego, so I'm excited to see how they do with the loss of her, on top of rebuilding in other ways. Lost Alex Morgan, new head coach, lots of things. So we will see.
We will see. And we go from one of the youngest stars in women's soccer to one of the older, wiser stars who I think she shocked everybody. It was like this cryptic Twitter post.
Yeah.
Marta has an extension. And I sent it to you. I was like, are we getting a retirement?
Listen, I watched the beginning of that video and I said, I don't think I can finish. Because the way I was going to break down at work, like, man, it's 11 o'clock. Like, what are we doing? It's 11 o'clock on like a Wednesday, Thursday? I don't know. I'm like, Marta, don't play with my heart like that.
No, but what these legends are showing us, her, LeBron is basically Diana Taurasi. They ain't got nothing else to do. So essentially... Martha, what we gonna do? Do what we love to do. Is she signed a 2-year extension with Orlando that'll take her through the 2026 season. So we'll at least get her for 2 more years.
Yeah, okay. That's exciting. I'm not mad at it. Play until you're 40, and then join the. Listen, you can come back for one more World Cup. That's all. I'm gonna throw that one out there. If you keep playing, you might as well stay.
Right. She got that championship feeling now. All of a sudden, she like, oh, I like this.
Right. I need another one.
Right. So let's move along to a sport that is going to be coming up on our radar a little bit more. Is the Professional Women's Hockey League. We got all the leagues. They're just everywhere. So it's so much sports to cover. But the PWHL has their season started back in November. But of note, they had one of the largest home attendance records that ever happened at one of their games this past weekend. Minnesota versus Montreal. 14,000 fans showed up in Denver.
Everybody watches women's sports.
Right. Like, it's just becoming truer and truer in every sense of the word. So I thought that was really exciting. We need to get to a PWHL game.
They so far. Like, I feel like they're all in the most
It's like Utah, Denver, Colorado. Like, we got nationwide over here. They can do like an exhibition in Columbus.
Yeah, come on. Like,
Right.
come through. But
But a little bit
that
on
is,
the
like you said, that's
Mhm.
exciting. That's a big moves and one of those sports that a lot is gaining a lot of attention in the
Right.
recent years. So,
Right. And it's always good for a sport like this outside of like the Olympics or the Winter Olympics,
mm,
to get these kind of fans to show up for a regular season game. Like it's not a national
right.
championship, it's not an all star game. So that was really exciting. But a little bit more information about the PWHL. It's a professional women's ice hockey league. I mean, it has 6 teams: Boston, Minnesota, Montreal, New York, Ottawa, and Toronto. And it launched earlier this year, in January 1, 2020. Earlier last year, I should say, January 1, 2024. So they're in their second season. So just seeing their growth and seeing what they're able to do and what these fans are able to do. So we're gonna tap into the ice hockey world a little bit because watching it is one thing. Going to a game, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very different.
That gives you the real experience. So
Right.
we got to experience in real time.
Right. And moving along to all the leagues, the professional women's volleyball leagues. Now we've learned there are not 2, there are 3. We spend a lot of time.
3?
There are 3.
Oh yeah.
We spend a lot of time covering the Professional Volleyball Federation, because our Columbus-owned Columbus Fury are in the city that we're in, and we cover them quite a bit. League One volleyball, I don't want to say it's of competition, but the Professional Women's Federation, they signed a deal with CBS, with Fox, and with Roku. They'll have 45 nationally televised games this season, and all of you Columbus Fury fans, you can always, as well as all the other PWF fans, you can watch on YouTube their game stream live there. We may be in the background on a couple of them. So.
You never know. You might see it in action.
Hanging around the baseline. But the League One volleyball is another professional women's volleyball league. It's a 6-team league. They have franchises in Atlanta, Austin, Omaha, Salt Lake, Houston, and Madison. Their league is 14 weeks. And nearly all of their games are streamed on ESPN. So if you tune in to ESPN and you see professional women's volleyball, you're probably watching League One. If you tune in to CBS and Fox and or YouTube, you're probably watching the PWF. And there's a third one, not to be confused. There is Athletes Unlimited. They have a few professional women's leagues going on, and they do have a professional women's volleyball league. They also have a softball league, a basketball league. So all the leagues.
And we don't get to watch. We don't get to watch enough of them. That's the thing. So I'm happy to see them signing these deals to be nationally televised and get more exposure, because you wouldn't know about them really, like so it's not too much coverage on them. So that's exciting to see them getting these signing these deals for us to see these games.
Right. And the thing that kind of sparked my interest, I saw Billie Jean King. She was like, she had her thing with the League One volleyball. I was like, what is Billie Jean? Is this new?
You know, when Billie pop out.
When Billie pop out, it's like, oh, this is something big. Yeah. So
you got to tune in.
Right. It's like, let's dig a little deeper. I'm like, oh, okay, we have 3 professional women's volleyball leagues.
Yeah. And I will say, last year we was kind of newbies to the volleyball scene, getting the feel for it, seeing what it was. I think it's safe to say I'm a fan, because I've been watching quite a few games. Yeah, and I was like, "Am I a fan?" I've learned all the rules. Right, I'm locked in. So, listen, I'm locked in. I'm ready.
Right. We're gonna go to you for all the insights on volleyball.
Yes,
I'm gonna get there.
Please do.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna stick with my Fury first.
Right.
We gotta be homers.
Of course.
Still going on our train with all the leagues. We're gonna end with the league that's been around, the women's professional league that's been around the longest. Not a lot of news, but free agency is gonna start. Not free agency, the trades and trade deadlines and all that stuff is gonna start soon. We're talking about the WNBA. Of note, there's a few players who've got cored, meaning that their teams have negotiating rights and can keep them on their rosters for the upcoming season. The Aces notably cored Kelsey Plum, which is of note, but it's still a question mark whether or not she will return back to the team, because no news no shade on the Aces, but you got to think about
quiet.
It's been real quiet. This is a team
It's
always
been quiet news
investigated.
cycles for y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Always in the news. You always
In
got
due
something
time.
going on.
In due time. They're
It's
like, just
super
relax.
quiet.
We waiting. We
Right.
waiting for the big reveal. They waiting.
Right. So it's a little suspicious that nothing is leaking
Right.
out of that camp. But they do not have a GM though.
Yeah.
Their GM got let go. Natalie Williams after last season. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of rebuild their roster without a GM and whether or not Kelsey Plum, they'll get her for another year. Because I think their core four have another run in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got to let it run one more time, but it's one of those things. If Kelsey's trying to make that move, I think they let her go as well. So
right. But you got to get some pieces back.
Right.
Yeah, you got to get some pieces back. And another item of note in the WNBA, Dallas court Satu Sabli. But the reason we're bringing this up is because Satu want to get out of Dallas.
I'm shocked. Well, I won't say I'm shocked by this, but with everything happening in Dallas,
i.e. they have the number one pick this year.
Yes. I'm surprised to see her leave right now. I thought at least one more year. I don't know. I feel like as of right now, like Satu hasn't even really got to show her full potential in Dallas. And I would have liked to see a full healthy season from her in Dallas to really, see what she can do and see what they can do, because Dallas is a team that we've been saying it for years. They've been knocking. So,
yeah. I kind of feel the same, but I do think at this point in Satu's career, especially, with her injury background, I think she wants to get to a contender. While I think Dallas is almost there, and with the number one pick, a lot of us, of course, think it's going to be Paige Beckers, but who knows how, those players are moving, because all them girls at college are hooping right now.
Yeah.
But if I'm Satu, I would want to get to a team like I don't even know if they have space, but the Aces, a Connecticut, a Seattle.
But my thing is, the conversation is saying Indiana. And I'm
Indiana.
like, well,
I'm
why?
not mad at it. Look, I'm not mad at it. She's a 3-level scorer. She's one of those folks who, when she gets going, now granted, I don't know who you give up off that Indiana team. If they're able to keep Kelsey Mitchell and bring in Satu Sabli, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Who are you giving up though?
I'm keeping Caitlin, Aaliyah, Kelsey Mitchell, and I get Satu. Everybody else, I'm sorry. I got love for all the players.
I was gonna say, I think Nalissa gotta go in that
one. And don't get me wrong, the team who gets Nalissa, they're gonna get a monster, because I think she got something to prove this coming season. But outside of those 3 players, I think I'm moving some things around on my roster to get Satu in Indiana. I'm not mad at it.
Listen, that's what the conversation is. So we'll see how it play out.
Hire Girls Only Sports as a GM.
Right. We'll make it happen.
The last thing we want to just mention a little bit in the news, which is just crazy. I saw a news blast come out where Caitlin had a stalker that got arrested and is on trial and things like that. Paige Beckers had a stalker that got charged.
What is going on? Like, let's just relax, everybody.
The harassment that BG got a couple years ago, all the harassment that Angel gets, what?
Can they just play ball?
That's
what are we doing? Yeah, stuff like that is just so sad to see.
Right.
It just dampens everything. Like,
right.
We can't have nothing nice.
Right, we finally get to this point, but it's the thing where for years we've been wanting more women athletes to get to superstar status. I mean, you have your Serenas and your Venuses, you have your Alex Morgans, and I'm pretty sure they've had to deal with a lot, even going back to Mia Hamm. You know what I mean? But to get to a point now with the advent of social media and all the access and or lack thereof, and people are just getting a little bit crazy, it's like, come on, y'all, cool it. Like, let these young ladies live and breathe. Like, Caitlin only got 1 year in the league, and for her to be dealing with stuff like this, it's just like, stop, pump the brakes,
Right.
because all of this is not needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the onus is on the WNBA as well to pump up the security for her, for all the players, to ensure that they're safe when they're coming to and from games and all that stuff. So come on, people, like, relax.
Please, just do better.
Yeah, relax. But sticking in basketball, but we're out of all the women's professional leagues that we've won it for a million years. One of these big matchups we talked last week about, there's going to be tons of top 25 matchups in women's college basketball. South Carolina dominated Texas. I won't
I'm
say
like, was we excited for this?
Right. I said, are we? Because South Carolina has something to prove. And shout out to Bree Hall, Ohio's own, put the lockdown on Madison Booker. She had a terrific game. And, I say it all the time. I think that blowout loss to UCLA didn't spark something in
for
South
sure.
Carolina.
They're like, we not going down again.
Right. Even the coach, Vic Schaefer for Texas, was like, how did they lose to UCLA?
Right.
Like, y'all got the game messed up. But I think they're back on track.
Yeah.
But Ashlyn Watkins, matter of fact, she dunked against TCU. Like, we was just getting to top 10. She tore her ACL this season, unfortunately, so she'll be out. But obviously the biggest thing with South Carolina is just that they're so deep. They got top 5 talent, probably 1 to 10.
At the end of their bench.
At the end of their bench. You probably start on any team in the country.
Yeah.
And if anybody has I don't want to call it like the NIL cure or whatever, but Dawn Staley's built something in South Carolina where she can get 5-star players to buy into a program, like, in this day and age.
Right.
So
that just speaks to Dawn, though. I think the whole world loves Dawn.
Right.
You ain't even gotta like South Carolina, but you gonna love Dawn.
Right. You gotta respect it. And our own OSU, we beat the team up north. It was a little sketchy at halftime, though.
It was sketchy up until the fourth quarter. I was stressed. I'm like, I can't.
Right.
But they pulled it out. Listen, they was grinding.
Did they go on like it was like a 28 run or something crazy like that?
Damn near, yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love OSU's press, but sometimes their offense can be a little stagnant. I just want them to run all game. Like, do what you can to stay out of the half court. Just run.
Yeah, I'm with you with that one.
But before we get off them, I got a small bone to pick. There is too many streaming. What is Big Ten Plus? Like,
show me the damn game.
Like, we just got movement. Everybody watches women's sports. Now you want to put it it's not on the Big Ten network. It's on Big Ten Plus.
Listen, I'm like, I ain't seen a game yet on TV for OSU, and we in Columbus.
Right.
And I'm like, in the Michigan game, like, y'all could have gave us that one. Like,
right, put it on ABC or CBS and call it a day.
Something. Hey, put us on ESPNU for this. Like, I'll take ESPNU.
Not Big Ten Plus. I'm like, don't let me get to hating on streaming, but come on now. Not no matchup like that. They want me to
buy every subscription.
And you know you can't get it with ESPN. You got to get it.
Of course not.
You can't even have Big Ten Network. You got to add another $9.99 to get Big Ten Plus.
Yeah, like, come on.
And SEC, y'all in it too, because I tried to watch LSU and Tennessee and SEC Plus. I'm like, come on, y'all.
Nope.
$6.99 for the month,
right?
And then some crazy like $250 for the year. But before we get out of women's college basketball, listen, Juju Watkins, everybody knows she's a little different. She's one of them ones. She's already had 18 30-point games in her career. She's only a sophomore, and she's only she's 7 games behind Cheryl Miller, which is mind-blowing.
She's different. That was different. And she been different since high school, so it was only we knew it was gonna happen.
The hype is warranted, and the thing that people are picking up on now is if Juju stays off 4 years, how likely is it that she'll challenge Caitlin Clark's scoring record. And with the way the game is played, especially with the 3-ball, and I think she can, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I don't know if Juju gonna stay off for years.
I don't think Juju's staying off.
It's a new landscape.
Yeah.
Like if she get a couple back to back.
Well, I don't know that NIL hitting for her. So
it's gonna transfer over, man. Be clear, that Nike deal as a pro is probably gonna be 10 times more than NIL.
That's true.
Don't let Jordan Brand get a hold of her either. It's a wrap.
Right.
But yeah, it's something to keep your eye out on. I know I've seen a few articles about her and whether or not she's on pace or not. But
I was gonna say I think she's a little on pace for it.
Yeah,
so
we'll
see.
We'll see. I don't think she's staying off for years. Women's basketball is a little different. If she leaves it depends on that title. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about Paige Beckers. It's like she's one of the few UConn superstars. Granted, she's had some very unfortunate injuries, but she's one of the few that hasn't won a national championship yet. And right. It's like you don't want to leave college as a superstar and not win.
Especially in that program.
Right. Like come on, Paige. Like we know the pressure is on, boo, but we know what you working for. We know what
you could do. Yeah.
Right. And not to be left out, we also have to shout out, we got some huge tournaments this weekend in Ohio. So anybody out there in the greater Columbus area, as well as up there in Berlin Highland, there's some tournaments where you get to see some of the best teams, players from around the state. There are also teams coming in from out of state. There's the Classic in the Country that's going to be at Berlin Highland High School. It's going to be the entire Martin Luther King weekend, 18th, 19th, and the 20th. There's the Classic in the City that's going to be at Pickerington Central High School. And then there's the MLK Showdown, which will be at Big Walnut High School. So if anybody has time, please go out, support these young ladies. I'm pretty sure that we'll get their graphics and we'll put them up on the screen. But there's a lot of talent. There's top talent. We have some nationally ranked teams that are going to be playing at these tournaments. So if you want to see some great high school girls basketball, especially in Ohio, please check these young ladies out and see what they can do.
Yeah.
Now moving on to our She Did That segment, we're going to stick in high school a little bit. We want to shout out Ohio's own, I believe she's a 3-time Miss Basketball, Dee Alexander out of Cincinnati, Ohio, from Purcell Marion High School. She is on the Naismith High School Girls Player of the Year mid-season team. I saw that pop up and I was just like, hey, that's a big deal. She's probably been on their radar since she's been a freshman.
Right. You can't leave her off of it.
You can't leave her off there. She's headed to the University of Cincinnati, but shout out to Dee and all that she's been able to accomplish, and we'll see if they'll be able to run off that 4 straight state titles.
I'm betting on them.
Right. And then, let's give a shout out to, once again, Sue Bird, Sylvia Fowles, Cappy Pondexter, and Elena Beard. They are going to headline the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame of 2025. That was announced last Friday. So these are 4 basketball greats. Everybody kind of knows Sue Bird. She's in the State Farm commercials. You got great. Sylvia Fowles, obviously one of the most dominant post players ever. But Cappy Pondexter, people sleep on Cappy. Chicago legend.
Listen, the Mercury days, I was thinking with her these years.
People forget she's a finals MVP, one of the top 25 best WNBA players of all time. Like, they forget about her. She was one of them.
She was one of them.
They be hyping a lot of the scores nowadays. If you ain't see Cappy in her prime, listen, hit the YouTube. Yeah. Check her out.
Look at a highlight reel. Come on, do your dues.
Right. And for our final segment, our X's and O's, we got to talk about our new favorite.
Yes. I'm just ready for it to happen.
Yes. Unrivaled, keeping us fed with all of their TikTok. Marina Mabry cooking.
She got, what's her name talking?
Which one?
What's my girl? Jackie Young.
Sure do. Jackie Young and
I'm like, you
TikTok
can't hear her, but she
doing
chatting.
Cookie Crumble reviews.
Right.
But the league starts on Friday. As you may have heard us mention, it's the 3-on-3 league that Nafrisa Collier and Brianna Stewart created. So it gives an option for players not to play overseas during the WNBA offseason. But we're going to break down some of these rules and also break down a very interesting concept that they're going to have during this league. And Kayla and I are going to be putting each other on the spot. So there's going to be 3 7-minute quarters and a fourth quarter called winning score. And then the winning score will be determined by adding 11 points to the team's lead. So basically what that means is after 3 quarters, if the score is 50-48, add 11 to the highest score. So that'll be 61. That's the game-winning score. So whoever gets the 61 first. I hope that made sense. So whoever has the highest score after the third quarter, add 11 points, and whoever gets to that score is the winner.
Got you.
They went ham on this. Somebody used their analytics degree and was like, let's put this all together. I think the NBA they had this concept maybe a couple years ago where it was like that magical number in the fourth quarter they had to reach to get the players to play. There'll be no overtime. There'll be 1 attempt on free throw attempts and ones. And then an interesting thing is that there is going to be a 6 foul out. However, since it is 3-on-3, if they run out of players, one has to remain on the floor. It'll just be a technical foul and a 1-shot free throw for any other foul that happens after a player fouls out.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at that either.
But also, if you get 6 fouls, take a seat.
And 3-on-3.
On 3-on-3 and 3 quarters.
Well, it's gonna be 4. It's 3 7-minute quarters and 1 fourth quarter.
So the fourth is to get to the
winning score, right? The fourth quarter don't have a time limit. It's just whoever gets to that, add 11. Whoever gets to that score first. So you getting it? You getting it?
I got it. Yeah. I gotta ask questions.
It's gonna be an 18-second shot clock, which I basically think y'all not holding the ball. Let's get them moving.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I like that one.
We gave our picks last episode. I went with the Miss. Mm-hmm. You went with the Rose. But this episode, they're going to be hosting a one-on-one tournament February 10th through February 14th at Unrivaled, where the top players will play each other in the game of one-on-one. They haven't released the rules yet, but the winner of that game is the winner-take-all exhibition. They get $250,000. The reason why I'm smiling saying that is because people was trying to be shady. He was like, you make more money winning a one-on-one than you did if you got a next contract. And it doesn't mean
yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Kathy,
like when you put it like that.
Kathy, I need you to get on your job, Kathy.
But never mind.
This is going to be, I think this is probably the tournament that I'm waiting for, if anything, with Unrivaled, because we don't see this in professional. I mean, we see exhibitions, we'll see players in summer league hooping, we'll see their individual tapes, but we don't see the top players in any type of basketball going one-on-one and it be on TV.
Yeah. This one's going to be spicy. I like this one. I like this. Like, it's just different. Like you said, you just don't see it. Mm-hmm. And there's certain players you like, oh, like, nah.
Like BG
she gonna be. Yeah, like, I see BG, like, Stephanie Dolson. I'm like, but then you also got to think, like,
Jewel Lloyd, Enrique, Ka.
Listen, I do have my pick though.
Okay, go
like
ahead.
My pick low-key easy.
Who's
for me? Pick? I'm going Reek.
You going Reek? Okay,
I'm going Reek. Really? Listen, I think it's no doubt. Like the one-on-one, like with her is just like, even in the actual game,
right?
It's almost unbeatable,
right?
So I'm not
mad at that.
I think this is hers.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at it at all. Because in one-on-one, I would go Reek too. Yeah. But in this, I'm going Fee.
Listen. I was looking through them, and the whole time I'm like, yeah, Fee. Like
I need a player who don't miss.
She's the last one on our list of players written out. And I went, nah, I gotta go read. Like I changed that. She was the only one that made me change it away from Fee. I swear.
Right. I was like, I need to go with a player who is probably going to shoot 60 to 70% from the field.
Yeah,
the only thing is,
Reek is so clutch.
Right. I get it. See, I don't.
That's big shot Reek, man.
She moves so well without the ball. I don't know how she would do on 1-on-1. But I'm telling you, ain't nobody guarding that 1 foot step back thing she got. Like,
right.
She don't miss.
She don't miss.
She don't miss. So who else?
Listen, it's gonna be interesting.
I'm not. Satu maybe got something to prove.
Yeah.
Brittany Sykes.
Yeah, Brittany. I'm thinking Skylar might do good in this.
Courtney Williams may too. If her mini
Courtney
gets
definitely
going,
will. Yeah. That was gonna be dangerous.
Can't forget about Stewie.
Oh, yeah, can't forget Stewie.
Oh my God, I forgot Tiffany Hayes.
Oh shit. No. Yeah. Listen, Kalia Copper.
You know I'm gonna stick with mine. I'm gonna go Fee.
I'm sticking with mine too, but it's going. Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns. But I think this one's going to be interesting. This is going to be fun to watch.
I think this is going to, if there's anything that they need to implement in the NBA's All-Star game to get it hype, the WNBA All-Star game, I think they need to put this in here. I know players be like, oh, no. Like,
right.
Maybe you split them up through, that's the thing too. Would you have like a Rike guard BG? Like,
right, like what's the bracket like?
Or do it like guard, center, forward, everything's positionless, but that should be fun. I can't wait for that. So that's gonna happen February 10th through February 14th. Again, it's a 1-on-1. Kayla got Enrique, which we can't be picking the same people. I'm not mad at that. I got Fee Nafrisa Collier because I think she don't miss. She is also Defensive Player of the Year last year. So
true. Ooh, yeah,
that's length. I don't know about her handle.
And you know, Rick, she don't really like defense that much.
She just planned on making everything. She just clutch. Like when it comes down to it,
with mine.
And I can't. Did we mention Jewel Lloyd?
Mr. Joel, yeah.
Did we mention Stewie?
I
didn't even mention Rakia Jackson. She made.
Yeah.
I'm, in 1-on-1 in this kind of game with other pros. I love the rookies. They're not rookies anymore. I love them. Got love for them.
They still the babies.
Yeah, I think the 1-on-1 is going to be like grown women time. So I'm going to go into Freesa. You're going to go Enrique. But we're going to come back to it. The tip-off happens January 17th is this Friday. We got to do something for it. We got to do like a live watch or something. That should be fun because it's going to be a show.
Fun. Yeah.
But that is our episode. Once again, follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok while it's still here. I am Candace. This is Kay. This is the Playbook, and we are Girls Only Sports.